Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2 has a lot of very beautiful and downright evolutionary aspects that change the gaming space for the better, like chompers and zombie feet. But there are some f***ing things that can suck my cock. Today I'll be going over the worst things about the game that most people agree sucks major balls. So, from the weird pay-to-win stuff to the interesting balancing, this is the worst parts of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. The first problem in this game is this idiot. Chomper is the most poorly rated character since his gimmick is incredibly hard to master or even do good with, as proven by the countless tier lists putting him in either F, E, or mentally disabled tier. He's also the most hated on due to his swallow killing you in one hit and then being unrevivable, as well as his ability to suicide chomp and literally become Superman. To fix Chomper, I feel like we need two very simple changes. 1. Delete Chomper file and forget this never happened. 2. Either a slight speed, health, or jump height buff that would help Chomper reach players and deal more damage. And 3. Please add a bite button and a swallow button. The number of times I tried to do bite back shots and I accidentally swallowed them is crazy, and that sounded way too sexual. Only these two things are needed to make Chomper a C-tier character, or at least much easier to play for new players who just rush in like headless chickens and die. But let's be fair, this thing will never be normal. Next, these bastards. When it comes to balancing, the game is generally quite solid, but there are two obviously better characters in this game which can sometimes be frustrating, those being most foot soldiers and most pea shooters, which makes trying to rank up the worser characters like Rose, Droid Rose, Fire Rose, Neck Rose, or basically any Rose a 4,000 Newton kick in the nuts. These characters bring us to the next problem, sweats, which I understand how this can be frustrating. This isn't really a unique problem since every game has tryhards who live in their mum's basement and have enough sweats to refill the Pacific Ocean in just one gaming session. I think the solution is just to nerf the really overpowered characters and therefore eliminate some of the sweats. This was the second most common issue brought up in the comments section, and the most suggested fix would be skill-based matchmaking or a competitive mode, which I understand, but there is not nearly enough players for that at the moment. My suggestion? Trial and error, baby. You'll get better with time. Or if you play casually, just have fun or switch lobby if you start getting frustrated. Or just rip off 1/20th of your hair when Electro Penis shoves a thunderball straight up your arse. My next massive problems are more general and way of life stuff. First, a cross-platform issue. If you didn't know, players who play on PC are unable to play with players on Xbox, PS, or Switch, or even 3DS or Grandma's Toaster. Because of this, the game is overlooked by players on different consoles, and friends are unable to play together. It sucks, and many games suffer from this, which is a true shame. One positive part about this is our next point, hackers. Hackers can make the game very interesting and sometimes very funny. Unfortunately, most of them ruin everything and make the entire lobby want to asphyxiate themselves with a zombie stink cloud. Without cross-platform, hackers cannot ruin the experience of console players, so good for them, I guess. Still, EA needs to fix the anti-cheat in some way because it's absolutely pathetic. It's literally the equivalent of a toddler being a bodyguard. I have no idea how it doesn't pick up anything. Hackers were the most common issue according to the community, which I 100% agree with, since there is such a wide variety of them, which I made a video on if you're interested. A really nice thing they should have implemented on the last update would be a display for the number of players in a certain mode and region. There is sometimes a lack of players, so it would save people the time of loading into the game only to get slapped in the booty with the reality that no one else is there, so they cry themselves to sleep knowing that they will forever be trapped in a world alone. As a rule, for those who can't find a game, try to play the Europe or North America regions in either mixed mode or gardens and graveyards. I've never not found a game during those times, so let me know if this helped. But this advice leads us to another problem, lag. Those who live in the middle of nowhere or Australia, lag will be enough to ruin your experience. Unfortunately, there isn't really an easy solution to this except for playing offline, but that isn't nearly as fun, I know from experience. A moment of silence for those who live in Antarctica. Our next simple change has to do with the camera settings. PC players are easily able to go into the game files and change the FOV without any issues. However, console players don't have that option, and casual players may not even know you can change it. I feel like an FOV slider would fix the confusion and help people enjoy the game better with their own preference of vision instead of the default magnifying glass vision. Then we have the communication issue. The VC is hardly used since the game isn't really that competitive, but it would be fun to add a chat just like the one in Star Wars Battlefront where people can just say racial slurs every couple minutes. Ban waves are among the biggest problems since it just upright blocks you from playing at all. Sure, it can help with the countless hackers, but it might accidentally detect someone who is harmlessly using mods in the backyard or just playing casually. In addition to this, some hackers manage to find a way to ban other players, which is literally more despicable than Gru himself. To prevent this, we can publicly execute Order 66 on the hackers with 360 no-scopes. Town Hall. What the actual balls is going on with this place? Firstly, it's inactive most of the time. Secondly, the game modes are mostly meh. Thirdly, players just spam the overpowered pay-to-win characters because they don't own them and want to rank them up. Fourthly, people don't want to grind across months for gay stars for the two characters with zero variance. Solution? I don't know, I don't get paid to fix EA's problem. That leads us to our next problem, pay-to-win characters. Pay-to-win games always suck since it just gives a stupid advantage for those who are lucky enough to be one of Elon Musk's experiment children. The most annoying pay-to-win character in PvC is most definitely this bloody imp. The next things have to do with the prehistoric game of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 1. I found the inclusion of one that heals, and his very funny little gimmick of only being allowed to use PvZ1 characters quite cool. However, it's unfortunate that this is the most broken map in the game. Let's start off with the biggest problem, the floor. The floor has this funny thing where it forgets how to be a floor. This is probably due to some sort of transfer bug where the animatronics do get a bit quirky at night. The next issue I have is the character selection thingy they implemented to try and recreate the feel of the first game. They removed the new characters and only kept the original 8 from the first game. It's a cool idea, but I just don't understand why they kept the new variants like Electro P or Arctic Chomper, who were never in the first game at all, which kind of ruins some of the vibe. Then we have the forgotten characters who should be in this game, but EA just scrapped them for some reason. Like the beloved Berry Shooter or the ever so great Chester Chomper. Not saying these characters are any good, just I miss them sometimes. Oh Chester, heart so wild yet true. In tender light your warmth remains. Each dawn is bright because of you. Love whispers soft and sweet refrain.
What we're gonna do now is kill ourselves.
It would have also been great if they transferred every PvZ1 map, because most of them are absolutely bussing grandma. But I recognise that this is a very tall order, especially so many years later. But they are still indeed bussing grandma. Moving on, we have these goddamn penis heads. I absolutely despise these creatures in Gardens and Graveyard or Herbal Assault, since the uplink bots do more damage than spring locks, and the coffin zombies have more health than 87.4 wall ease. If you spam these guys, there is very little chance the other team completes their objective, unless your team has a few mental troubles. Okay, forget the rest. This is the biggest problem in the game, the fact that there is no updates. Solution: call up the government and get them to nuke EA with the frickin' Tsar Bomb Boy. It's a shame they changed the visual design of the first game, which is objectively better. I understand that there is a lot jam-packed in this little game, but still, it was so pretty. So I made a post a few weeks back, I believe it was after the Battle of Halaskron in 1437. This post had a comment section, and that comment section had comments that people commented. Let's go over the ones that colour problems that I haven't previously mentioned. Firstly, you have someone bringing up an issue with Toxic and Fire variants. According to them, the Fire variants are just better versions of the Toxic ones, and that they should go suck an egg. Now, to some extent, I do agree with this, fine gentlemen. But there are a few differences that he didn't take into account, such as the ammo, which is always different, and the health, which is sometimes different. Also, there's the passive AoE damage, which she calls useless, but I call situational. Next, you have someone complaining about the limited time modes that can no longer be played. I 100% agree with this poor fellow, but some of those modes might be really fun, but instead we are stuck with the really gay modes that can go suck an egg. Moving on, we have the manual detonation characters, because they are pretty unfair, since they can literally shoot behind walls. I do understand how this can be frustrating, but I think instead of just outright deleting this mechanic, they should just nerf the detonation range to make it less stupidly overpowered. This is one of the reasons Electric P and Captain Cannon find themselves in A and S tier. Next, we have the characters that kill you before even noticing you've been hit. I think this lovely and scrumptious commenter was trying to say characters like Future Cactus or Zen Cactus having bullets that do over 100 DPS, like a freaking AK-69. I'm kind of torn whether or not I agree with this, because on one hand it does deal a stupidly high amount of damage, but on the other they are a rather big target that struggles with close range combat, so it kind of equals out, but I don't know. Next, literally just Foot Soldier. I mean, he's not wrong. Next, Super Bean. Of all the bosses, this one is the biggest beat. Our next commenter has been waiting their whole life for this moment and brings us some very interesting points. 1. When a player targets one specific player on the enemy team, this gets annoying because you know the guy on the other side just wants to make your experience as terrible as possible for no reason. This is where tech chat would come in handy. 2. Sniper meta. It's annoying, but there are ways to combat it. 3. Sweats. 4. Balancing. 5. Sweats. 6. Balancing. All of these are really good points and can respectively go suck eggs. Next, we have Mr. Electric P Gaming himself. He says that new players being able to buy legendary characters is complete BS, and EA should go suck an egg. I don't really know what to say to this, and school is almost over, so I need the remaining brain cells I have left to, you know, finish the year. Next, you have the most passionate user when it comes to rubbish things inside of video games. He says, Bandwaves, Pogo Ps, Sweats, Rose Players, Suicide Chompers, Huskop Spammers, Z7 Sweats, Torchwood Fire Breath, Plasma P Mains, Campers.
Oh my god, is that you? What the hell are you doing?
Camping.
Camo Cactus Players, Vampire Flower Players, Hot Rod Chomper Players, Toxic Citron Being Useless, Super Bean, Yeti Boss, DJ Uplink Bots, Chompers, 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 and Chompers. Such poetry and grace is beyond my IQ. However, this comment gave me wood. If you agree or disagree with any of these comments, or just find them funny or mildly homosexual, let me know by commenting on this video. Or if you have any other ideas on how this game can be improved, let old Chompy Boy know, because I like hearing you guys. You guys are cool. Thank you all so much for watching this far and supporting the channel. Sorry uploads have been slower, but exams do be their priority because life and stuff. You guys are all awesome, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.